celebrated artist from the Philippines, accompanies Norma, O'Leary and Arlene, also from the Philippines, as they sing with Loknath Manian of Nepal, his original composition on Psalm 40. He takes my feet from the miry clay and sets them on the rock. Arlene, the calamity artist of the Philippines, dances her own interpretation of the psalm. The artists gathered in Osijek in eastern Croatia. The church is 100 years old. It's said to be the largest congregation in the area and was once a Jewish synagogue. Next to it is the Evangelical Theological Seminary. The whole lot of us who are here want to thank you for letting us come. I mean, the facilities are wonderful. I know you've got very few staff here at the moment, but they've been so helpful and we've been thrilled with the love that we've been shown.
Thank you. We are very glad to host you. We, as you know, have the history of 28 years. We are international and interdenominational seminary, covering especially Eastern Central Europe, but we have students from 20 countries and from 10 different denominations.
Some from Africa?
Some even from Ethiopia, Ghana. We used to have from Madagascar and some other countries, Nigeria. So it's really worldwide crew over here. And we are very glad to host you. And please tell me a little bit more about the Artists Convention.
Well, we have a sort of umbrella called the International Christian Media Commission. And my responsibility in this is to encourage artists, Christian artists, to relate their faith and their talents. So we've had two in an exotic location in the island of Bali in Indonesia. But this time we wanted the artists to get the feel of a little more of what life is really about. And so we've come here to Croatia, where you have really suffered and had a very hard time, and it's not over yet. And of course yesterday we went to Vukovar and we saw the reality of destruction. And then we went to the National Reserve and we saw a very lovely place of peace. So we have come here from a number of countries in Asia, from the United States, from New Zealand, and we're learning from each other. We have worship in the morning and a Bible study, and then we look at a topic which is very relevant to us as artists. It may be war and peace in the family, war and peace in the nation, or a theme like that. And then in the afternoons, we're working all this out with painting a mural, constructing a sculpture, composing music and dance, and then in the evening we just celebrate together our love for the Lord.
Well, our troubled part of Europe is, I think, good choice for the contextualization of war and peace and reconciliation, and I believe you will have tremendous time in Croatia.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Thank you.
Andreas, can you tell me how you designed this logo for our artist workshop here in Osijek?
When Kathleen asked me to plan this logo, I started to thinking, what does it mean, war and peace? And in this drawing, the peace is symbolized with the d.o.o. D.o.o. symbolizes the Holy Spirit, and the snake symbolized the war, and symbolizing the mentioned symbolism as something wrong, the temptation, the wrong things. And these two kind of things is fight against forever each other, but it happens every day in us, in our soul also. Yes. And I think so, or every war is only project of this war which we feel in ourselves. But
do you, from your symbol, do you see hope? Any hope for the future?
Yeah, I have a hope because my hope is symbolized that the dove is above.
And what does the dove represent?
The dove, the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit will be the winner.
And bring peace.
And bring peace. Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
An exhibition in the foyer features the work of many artists. Alfonso is director of an art institute in Madras, India.
Alfonso, is this your special style? Can you tell me about it?
I have been doing this kind of style for many years, using one color, monochromatic color, painting I did. I also did colors and depicting the theme of life of Christ. And this picture depicts the Sermon on the Mount, and then Christ distributing bread pieces and fish to thousands of people.
And who are the figures on this side?
No, I think in the Bible it said the child, he gets the bread and fish from the child, and then the child brings the bread and he distributes to. These are disciples, and those are people to whom he was talking to.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nyoman from Bali in Indonesia brought samples of his work. Daisy brought paintings from India, and so did Sushila, along with her sculpture. One could spend the whole morning picking out the symbols in Sawai's picture. And American sculptor Esther's sculptures are going to be erected in Siberia. We have batiks by Newman. The strong colours of Bali in Thailand complement some of the craft work. Tea breaks provided opportunity for artists to share their experiences, their problems, and their joys. Andres from Hungary, Jelko, Marina and Danielle from Croatia, Tina Sewai from Thailand, Philip from the US, and Liliana from Romania interpret the Bible study in paint, while Barbara from the USA is preparing to direct the painting of the mural. And composers worked at interpreting the theme, war and peace.
With the top skin cut off, much like cutting your hand and feeling the air hot and cold, or feeling it sting when you get lemon juice in it or something. So poetry is language cut to the raw a little bit. And we talked about the possibilities, the words would have sounds and rhythms and beats and stresses in a poetic line. In England, there is, there's a certain kind of stress that goes with English poetry, and you go to different eras in English poetry. Whether you look at the time of Shakespeare, or you go all the way back to Anglo-Saxon poetry, you're going to find things. And I am more than convinced that in Filipino tradition and in Indian traditions of poetry, there are going to be degrees of emphasis and stress and rhythm in the different styles of writing that go on there.
I think the reason that you're having to ask me is that we have to stand and look And even if we have a bad reaction, we have to say to ourselves, where is this coming from? What is it in the picture that's making me feel a little strange? So let's have a look. Now this one comes from Indonesia by a very famous artist called Bagong. I love it because you have the feel of help me, the name of the wayang kulit. You have the feel of that. And there's a suggestion at the bottom of a division of some kind. It may be the West and the East, it may be good and evil. There is light bursting from the wounded side of Christ, which is spreading through all the world. The nose is that of a good man. There's the crucifixion, but there's also the hope of the resurrection. The cross is gone. Does that help?
Yes.
Right.
This is a project for 6 of us from 4 different countries that we've been working on, and it's made of clay, and it will eventually be cut into blocks, tiles, and fired and stained to be put on the wall like wall tiles. And the idea is war and peace, the theme of the conference. That side is war, showing the bullet holes and the pain and the problems. And then it comes to the more joyful things and the peace and the reconstruction and sort of the expression of hope for the future. So the largest part is the peace and the expression of hope.
The Visit by Arlinda Halili. Reflections on our visit to Volkovar.
We came to your city curious about war. Our heads are fat with stories from television, newspapers. We do not know the churning of empty stomachs. Our hearts and hands are not clean. We are merely observers from a distant land. Tell us about your children who went to war. The pain of parting from border to distant border. The cry for water, for bread, for light. Our eyes are open, but our hearts are dull. They say this city was a song to the poet. The banks of the placid Drava move on undisturbed, but your walls are pockmarked by gunfire. Your gates are battered with shell holes. Your houses have crumbled like soggy cakes. Take me out of this nightmare, O brothers. Stop this alien from worse destruction. Have mercy, dear strangers.
Have mercy.
Barbara, can you come and tell me what you're doing here? How many nationalities are represented here?
There are about 7 nationalities represented, 7 different countries.
What is your vision for this artwork?
Our vision is that when the people see it as they pass by on the street, they will see that how peace and war are related to each other, and how the love of God, or the cross of Christ, brings across peace.
Can you tell me how this theme is worked out here?
Yeah, on the left side, we would like to represent the part of the war situation, the dark color symbolized, and the right side we symbolize the peaceful situation. And in the middle of the picture, you can see the people holding the peace.
Have you enjoyed this work?
Yes, very well.
Good. Thank you very much.